So now we'll add this permission, all these things. So for that, I will just log in with the user we have created. So this user we have created, I will just log into this account. And so basically first we'll try to means create this role and permission thing, and then basically we'll go for this means that permission included in that particular business plan or not, means that particular user business subscribe to that particular plan or not. So first we'll add that role and permission thing. So for that I have added manually in database. Basically I have added all the things. So I have created one role, one is admin, okay, with this business id too, which we have created that particular business id. And then basically for that roles I have added this permission. I have added three permission: test 2 and test 3. And basically in this first role I have added two permissions, one is test and test 2. Test 3 is not added in that particular role. And then basically assign that particular admin role to this particular user what we have logged in. Okay, so right now we have done this. Now I will have to see in front end basically how to add that, means in basically in blade templates or in controller, how to add that, how to check that particular user has that permission or not using that particular role. Okay, so for that thing we'll use this @can directive in blade template. So for that I will go to resources, views, and dashboard template for now, just to check if everything is working fine or not. So I will remove this x welcome. Okay, and then test, I will just write this, I will check. So test is working. Now I will add this permission. So if @can, so we'll have to check permissions. So we have three permissions here. So in permission, test 2 and test 3. Okay, so test @can. So I will just write this test. I will remove from this. So what are the permission that particular user will have, that can be seen. So test 1, test 2 and test 3. So I have just added, means particular user can add can directive. So we are checking this user has that permission or not. So right now user will not see anything because I think we have to add that implementation properly. But if user don't have permission, he will not be able to see anything. So we have to add these things, how this permission will be checked and all these things. So for permission checking we already have the particular this user. So user has roles, okay, and then role has basically permissions. So role model has permissions, okay. So and then so basically we have to check that. So we have to add that particular checking, means in particular user has that permission or not. So for that reason we will use this auth service provider. So app providers, okay, there is no auth service provider, so I will have to add that particular auth service provider. So I will have to check how to add that auth service provider. For that reason I will just go to laravel.com. so in Laravel 11 they have removed most of the directories and all these things, most of the files and directories. So auth service provider is not here, so I will just check auth service provider. So authorization, so writing gates, okay. So okay, now get are simply to determine boot method. Okay, so basically in Laravel version 11 they have changed this. Before Laravel version 11 they have auth service provider, but I think for this one they have added this into app service provider. So I will try to do this in particular app service provider only. Okay, so in boot method I will add that. So this gate will be there, I think, commented out. So app service provider, okay, it's not there, I will just add this. Okay, and then in boot method I will try to add this. So I have to add something else. So I will add gate before. So for every request before I will check these things. and then basically there will be this function. Okay, and we will pass this user and we will pass this permission. So it will be like dollar permission. Okay, so right now I will just check means if it's there or not. So if I just write directly true, I will see if this is working or not. Let me check. So refresh. Okay, there is some issue. App provider must be of type app provider user. Okay, we don't have that user here, so I can remove it from here. Let me see. Okay, now it's working. Okay, test 1 2 3. So I will have to add that model here. That's why, so I just remove that, so proper user will be sent. So user permission, so if I have true, means everything working, there is no issue, no checking, nothing. Every user will have. Now we will have to add that permission. If user had that permission, then only he should see that. Okay, for that reason I will do one thing. We can take the permissions that particular user have. So for that I will go to this user model and then I will add here public function permissions, and then basically here I will do one thing, return, then dollar this, then basically roles. So roles will come here, then I will use map function, so it will map all the above this roles and then basically take out all the permissions from there, and then basically flatten to create an array. Then basically we will plug the name of these permissions, and then basically we will take only unique values from there. Okay, so basically we'll get all the permissions with their names in an array. Okay, so this will be there. So this array will be returned, so we'll use this array and we'll check that particular permissions is there or not. So for that reason I will go here now, app service provider. So this return, so basically here we will check user, then permissions, then basically contains, and what this permission will be contain or not. So this permission, if it contains true, then it will return true, otherwise false. So we'll check if it's working or not. So there is some issue, permissions. So let me see if this works. No, there is some issue. So unique, and I will just try to see these things, how it looks, what exactly it returns. Okay, permissions, something is there. User permissions, what is this permission? Okay, so spelling mistake is there. So okay, that's why. Permissions, so due to spelling mistake that was not coming, so I will just comment this and we'll see. Okay, there is some issue, belongs to many map, roles map, permissions. So this function is not working. Okay, so I think how I will remove this one. I will remove this one also. Let's see. So refresh. Now nothing is there. So this one is also not good. So for that reason I will check this one. I will go to here. So I will see this DD if it's working proper or not. So refresh. So array items 0 0. Okay, nothing is there. So I will just check this roles. So roles are there or not? Okay, roles are there. Then map permissions. So refresh. No, null. So in role we have permissions. Okay, spelling mistake. Permissions. So now we'll check this one again. Refresh. So now two permissions are there. Okay, so permissions are coming. Now we'll do one thing. We'll see this whole array. Okay, so this one, permissions, flatten and unique. So it is a collection or array. Let's see. So we have this collection test and test2. Okay, now we have done with this. So I will just remove this one. So role map permission pattern plug name, and then basically in app service provider we'll just check if user has that permissions. So basically this function will check all these things, and then we'll get this and contains permission or not. So let's refresh this one. So now we can see if user has test and test2, so he can see that particular thing. So if I add a new permission like taste 4, okay, I will just apply this, added. Okay, now for this fourth permission I will give that permission to that particular role. So for first I will give this fourth permission, and then I will just apply this one. So now I will add this into our dashboard also. Okay, so we can see that if that permission is there or not. So we can see that's okay. Now let's see if user has that permission or not. So test for permission is there because he has that particular admin role. Okay, suppose I change this 3 to basically 1 2 3. So basically I'm changing that particular permission. So the first permission will be gone and third permission will be there. So user will be able to see second, third and fourth. So test 2 3 4 likewise. So this one is working. If I remove that particular user role, and then he will not be able to say that. So if I remove this, where is role user? So role user, I will just give it to 1. So this 2 user will not have that permissions, and this will basically he will not be able to see anything. So he don't have that permission. So likewise I can see using this @can and all these things. So I will just revert it and I will add user id 2. So we can see that. So using this we can basically check the permission, means user has that particular role or not and that permission or not, by using role only. So we'll follow all these things via role only. We will not give permission directly to particular user. If someone wants to give permission, they can create role and then can give the permissions specifically for that user. So likewise.